Okay, hi guys, and welcome to this whisper video. The footage I shot here was recorded on a very blistery day. The weather was really all over the place, and it was raining, and there were very dark clouds in the sky. And I really, any time I go to the beach, I use it as a time to reflect on my thoughts and way of thinking, and if I'm agitated at all. And it always helps. It always makes me calm. Just watching the waves and the sky. No one ever goes to the beach and is miserable. I've noticed that. It's always something that soothes people. People like to walk along the beach. And on this day, I decided to just have a walk and capture the essence of the day. The sky, the violent looking sky. And I really wanted to get as close as possible to the danger as I could. So I saw this jetty people used to fish on, and I saw a few other people standing around it, and the waves were crashing against the rocks, and I decided to go there and see if I could film anything. So I went there, and the waves were like rolling in and causing a huge eruption of water as they hit the rocks. So I walked to the end of the jetty. I was weary about not getting wet, timing the rolling of the waves so that I would not get wet when they crashed. I went to the end of the jetty, and it was a scary feeling because the waves were really high, and at the end of the jetty, it felt like you were standing over the waves, which it was, but the waves were very violent, and it was like you were hanging over the waves. It's a feeling that, as someone who is afraid of the ocean, is a very liberating feeling. And it's like standing over some dangerous thing, being close to something, but not getting into it. It's like when you're at the zoo and you there was a time as a child I went to the zoo, and we were next to the tiger enclosure, and there was just a piece of glass separating me and the tiger, and I would press my face up against the glass, and the tiger would rub its face against the glass as well, and it was like this tiny little thing separating us could either be good or bad. But just knowing that, I guess I think I would love to swim with great white sharks. Because these experiences make you appreciate the frailty of life. That's why I guess people do these high risk adventure things. But I am terrified of great white sharks ever since seeing Jaws. And I think doing something like that would help me overcome that feeling. Like I would never willingly go in and swim out of a cage with them, but there is that feeling, being next to this great prehistoric killing machine. But sharks, that is their territory. It's not humans' territory to be in the ocean. It's like they don't come onto land and attack us, and it's probably not even attacking when you think about it. It's just they see a piece of food they need to eat, so they're just eating. They're not like trying to target humans. It's just if you go into the a safari or something, and you step outside of your car and go into an open field where there are cheetahs and lions and stuff, and don't expect them to attack you. It's the same principle. But where I live, there have been many shark attacks, especially down south, like near Margaret River, and even a lot have occurred near Perth. And there is that fear there, but people still go in the water. I don't think there is the ability to go and swim with sharks. I don't think that they have that. I know they have that in South Africa, in Cape Town, I think, where you can go out on a boat and go into the water with them and swim in a cage. I would really love that experience. It'd probably been less scary than jumping out of an aeroplane, because at least you have the cage there. I've just been thinking a lot about interacting with people recently, and there's been a lot of moments where I've said something just normally. I've been saying what's on my mind, and then the other people who are listening get very insulted or something. They act like they're very insulted or defensive, and I wasn't even trying to get that reaction. I was just saying what's on my mind. I didn't really think of anything. I think a lot of people are just really toxic, and they have their own problems, and that's their defense for themselves. They're feeling that they have problems that they can't deal with themselves, so they have to project it onto someone else. And in a perfect world, I hate confrontations, and I really don't give a fuck what anyone else is dealing with. I don't wish to get into arguments with people. I just wish everyone was had the guts to be strong enough and live within their own head and not have arguments and shit. I think some people just like to have arguments for the sake of arguing because they're not getting the attention that they need. And that's their problem. That's their fault. And they shouldn't come to me looking for that excuse to get me angry. I've just been dealing a lot with that stuff recently. I just wish that it didn't have to be like that. And I spoke to my psychologist about that stuff, and she said something very true, very intelligent, and she mentioned this term called the Fallacy of Fairness. The world isn't fair. In a perfect world, everything would be run like clockwork, and there wouldn't be any problems like that. But the world isn't fair, and you can't control other people's reactions, and there are a lot of idiots in this world, and you can't control them. So the best thing to do is just be assertive and don't really care don't show them that what they are doing to you is affecting you. These people are less than you. You are more evolved. If you can deal with things and not have to project your frustrations on other people, you are so much more evolved than these other people. And I've just been thinking a lot about that stuff, more recently than other times, I guess, because I'm just got to the point where I'm sick and tired of wasting my energy thinking about second guessing everything and thinking about what I'm saying is if before I talk I might say something offensive, or which is all to do with my sense of humor. If I say something that offends people, that's their problem. If I can't be honest in my way of speaking, or there is no way to know if you're going to say something that is meant as innocent as possible and it triggers something in them and they come back at you. There is no fault in your way of delivering things. I've been battling with this issue for quite some time, and it affects my life. I don't want to have to go around wasting every thought thinking about what I say is going to insult someone. From now on, I'm just going to be assertive and become a stronger person and just say, well, if what I've said has made you upset, or if you can't deal with it, then that's why I don't need to talk to you. Sorry, this is becoming a long rambling thing, but I just, I've spent enough time worrying about this shit, and it's not helping me as a person developing. So I think in the past I've been very passive aggressive, which is, I had to ask my psychologist what that actually means. And it means that even though I get upset at something, or I don't like the way someone talks to me, I will comply with them, but in the back of my head I just want to smash their head in, and I will do things without them knowing to make their life hell. That is the wrong way to go about things, even though it suits me, because I don't like confrontations, but I will still do things to affect them, to get my revenge. I think that revenge is healthy. If someone comes after you and does something to you for no reason, why you didn't do anything to instigate this act, you have every right to get back at them, to show them that what they did was wrong. I believe wholeheartedly in revenge. It's about showing people where they stand, and you have to stand up for yourself and show that you're not going to be treated like a doormat. So it's the whole thing about life, and what you give out is what you should receive. So if you're a prick to everyone you meet, and then you wonder why people hate you, it shouldn't be like that hard to understand that it's because of what you give out. The energy you give out is negative. Don't expect positive energy to come back to you, which is always the case. I know a few people like that, and they just expect everyone to be positive back to them, but they're not. Like, there's so much passive aggressive behavior, and it's usually because no one will strike back at them, because they're just the pigs of society. So this has kind of gone off on a weird tangent, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. But it's all about taking control of your emotions, and that's what I guess I'm trying to form here, is a kind of armor, I guess, where I can function in everyday life and not let things intimidate or upset me, because I used to be a very sensitive person, and I would take cues of people, like social interactions, and I would see if someone even looked at me in a strange way. I would think that, I must have done something to upset them. I guess a lot of it is in my own head. But life isn't it shouldn't have to be like this. You should be able to live your life without having to walk on eggshells the whole time you're awake. So I guess that's my goal anyway. This year, I guess, I've learnt to not care as much about what I say and how it affects people. I don't really. I will be pleasant to people as long as they are pleasant to me. But if they, treat me wrong, I'll treat them as exactly the same way, and more so if they fuck with me. So don't fuck with me. I guess that's the lesson to be learned. So I hope you enjoyed this video, this weird, angry whisper video, and enjoyed the ocean in all its glory. I guess you can be like the ocean. You can be calm, or you can be resilient. I guess the ocean is like a metaphor for emotions, and a lot of the time I am very angry underneath a calm. So it's not good for me, so I have to change. But as long as you're willing to change, I guess that's the main thing. That's the whole thing about life, is you have to grow and become the person that you should be. Okay, so thank you. I'm going to stop it there. And I hope you enjoyed this rant. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.